Imagine a small, green pond sitting quietly in the middle of a Florida wildlife area. Nothing about it looks special, just another algae-covered water hole that most people would walk right past. But hidden beneath its murky surface lies a deadly underwater maze that has become a nightmare for divers. This isn't just an ordinary body of water. This is the Eagle's Nest sinkhole, a place that has turned underwater exploration into a terrifying game of life and death. The moment you look closer, you realize this is no ordinary pond. Tucked away in the Chassahowitzka Wildlife Management Area, spanning 24,000 acres of forest and wetlands, the Eagle's Nest looks like a perfect circle from above. Up close, it's even less impressive. Mosquitoes swarm around the boardwalk, and thick algae covers the water surface. Most people would think it's just another home for alligators, but for such a special group of underwater explorers, this unassuming pond is something entirely different. Let's dive into the video to know more in detail about this dangerous diving site. What makes this place so special isn't visible from the surface. The real magic and terror begins about 20 feet down. Divers who dive into the murky water discover something extraordinary. At the bottom, there's a massive 6-foot wide tunnel that looks like a giant drain. But this is no ordinary drain. It's an entrance to another world. The tunnel opens into what divers call the ballroom, an underground chamber so massive it's been compared to the size of an airplane hangar. Imagine floating in complete darkness, surrounded by rock walls that stretch beyond what your eyes can see. Some divers say it feels like being in outer space, suspended in absolute blackness. At the bottom of this enormous chamber, the sloped debris pile offers multiple tunnels to explore, 2 going downstream and 1 going upstream. Before any diver even thinks about entering, there's a sign that stops most people in their tracks. It's not just any warning, it's a chilling illustration of the Grim Reaper standing over fallen divers. The message is brutally simple. Stop. Prevent your own death. Go no further. The sign isn't just a suggestion, it's a stark reminder of the deadly risks that await. The requirements for diving here are extreme. You can't just show up with some diving experience. Divers must have full cave diving certification, hold a special Trimix gas certification for deep dives, have extensive experience in deep underwater caves. Ideally, dive with someone who knows this specific cave system inside and out. The history of Eagle's Nest is written in blood and tears. Take the heartbreaking story of a father and son who entered the cave on Christmas Day. Darren, an experienced diver, brought his 15-year-old son Dylan. They were excited about their new air tanks they'd received as gifts, but excitement quickly turned into tragedy. They descended 233 feet, a depth where the water pressure can play deadly tricks on the mind. Nitrogen narcosis began to take hold, making them feel drunk and disoriented. They lost track of time and began running out of air. Panic set in their final moments, they shared the remaining air, desperately trying to survive. But the cave showed no mercy. Both father and son perished. Darren found on the debris pile, Dylan near a spare tank. Another horrifying incident happened in 1981. A couple, Terry and Larry, were diving with 3 others. Suddenly, Terry went completely still underwater, her breathing regulator floating beside her. Larry tried desperately to save her, but failed. A nearby diving instructor, Jim Bentz, attempted to rescue, but also never resurfaced. Both were believed to have fallen victim to the deadly effects of nitrogen narcosis. What makes Eagle's Nest truly terrifying is how it can kill even the most experienced divers. Charles, a 55-year-old with 2 years of diving experience, died of a sudden heart attack at just 100 feet. Another experienced diver, named Davin, met with a similar fate while exploring the upper parts of the underwater chamber. The environmental challenges make everything even more dangerous. Visibility can change in an instant. One moment, the water might be slightly cloudy. The next, it can turn completely dark because of natural chemicals called tannins. Disturbing the cave walls can reduce visibility to 0 in seconds, turning an exploration into a potential death trap. The dive site's history is so dangerous that it was actually banned in 1999 due to multiple fatalities. The cave diving community fought hard and successfully convinced authorities to reopen it in 2003. Tragically, less than a year after reopening, another fatal incident occurred. The statistics are chilling. In the 30-year study of American cave diving deaths, Eagle's Nest accounted for approximately 8% of all fatalities. This is an extraordinary number, considering that there are hundreds of caves across the United States. The danger isn't limited to scuba divers. Free divers, those who dive without oxygen tanks, have also fallen victim to the sinkhole's deadly nature. In one incident, a 20-year-old named Said attempted to break his personal depth record. He wanted to reach 80 feet on a single breath. His group watched him disappear into the darkness. When he didn't return, they tried to find him, but it was too late. His body was discovered 150 feet below the surface. The sign at Eagle's Nest carries a final, haunting message that captures its deadly allure. There's nothing in this cave worth dying for. Yet for some underwater explorers, the call for adventure remains irresistible. Despite the number of deaths, at least 13 confirmed since 1981, Eagle's Nest remains open to the cave diving community. It stands as a brutal testament to human curiosity, courage, and perhaps a touch of madness. Each dive is a delicate dance with death, where the slightest mistake can transform an adventure into a tragic memory. For those who dare to explore its depths, Eagle's Nest serves as a ruthless reminder of nature's unforgiving complexity. It shows us how quickly excitement can turn to disaster, and how the underwater world can be both breathtakingly beautiful and terrifyingly deadly. The sinkhole continues to challenge divers, beckoning to those brave or foolish enough to test their limits. Will you be the next to answer its call? Well, that's all for today's horrifying dive into the deadliest underwater graveyard in Florida. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell.